Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I get started with this lesson, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. To you, I say shalom. This is your brother Yeshaya coming at you again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. This time with another Lord willing, be an edifying lesson. It's gonna be quick, nothing too long. But I caught this video. I was watching it on my break, and at first I thought, well, you can just read the title. It says humans didn't evolve light skin for the reason you think. And at first, when I was watching it, I thought he was going down the right path. But then, as they always do, they always go left. They always give you misinformation by debunking something else. But I'm gonna let the video play, and then I'm gonna get some precepts. Here we go.
Told that light skin is an adaptation that allowed the ancestors of modern. We've probably been told that light skin is an adaptation that allowed the ancestors of modern-day Europeans to absorb more sunlight for vitamin D synthesis. These ideas might be a tad bit outdated.
It's time to let old things die.
We have a lot of archaeological evidence that suggests that humans first arrived in Europe around 30,000 to 40,000 years ago. And yet, until about 8,000 years ago, the ancestors of modern-day Europeans were dark-skinned. They had blue eyes, but they were dark-skinned. A little like Cheddarman, who lived in Britain 10,000 years ago and is the ancestor of roughly 10% of all white British people. 8,000 years ago just happens to be around the time when we see the first evidence of agriculture appear in Europe. In other words, it appears that light skin didn't evolve as an adaptation to absorb more sunlight in dark Europe, but to compensate for a changing diet brought on by agriculture. Once humans settled down and started farming, it's likely that their diets became very deficient in vitamin D, as there are a few good plant-based sources of vitamin D, providing light-skinned people with a huge advantage.
All right. I guess it continued off to the elders video. But anyway, you saw that video, right? Apparently, they're like Esau, and these other people that try to come up, trying to explain history, trying to explain genetics. They obviously have no clue of the truth of the matter, right? So, through the scriptures, we get the understanding of the nations. We get understanding of, the tribes of Israel. We get the understanding of a lot of things, that goes on the earth, right? Because if you didn't know, the Bible is really a history book. It has the records of all the nations. It has records going back to the time of Adam. I mean, all these records are put in place to, give us an understanding of our history and the Earth's history, right? So, just touching on this thing about the white skin or the light skin or whatever, the red, really just a lack of pigment, lack of melanin. But it all stems back to Cain. This is the mark of Cain, right? So I'm gonna start off here in Genesis 4 and verse 9. It says, "And Yahweh said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?" Right? Because when you read more up, when you read in the beginning, it goes into how he slew his brother Abel, right? Because he was jealous, right? Because his sacrifice wasn't accepted. But ultimately, Cain was going off. He knew what he had to do, but he decided not to. So, of course, his sacrifice wasn't accepted. But going down to this point down here, well, I'm going to continue reading, but it'll get to the point here in a minute. But verse 10, it says, "And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand." Excuse me. Verse 12, "When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. a fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And that same curse is upon the modern day Edomites, right? The so-called white men, right? And we're gonna get to this mark that he was bestowed with or cursed with. But verse 13 it says, and Cain said unto Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out of Salaki, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me, right? Because the punishment for murder is death, right? So it says, verse 15, and Yahweh said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold, right? That's why you see, when Jake tries to take vengeance into his own hands, you know what I'm saying, and try to put down Esau, what happens? Jake gets arrested, gets the damn pretty much gets the book thrown at him, right? Either that or the Most High, judges him, because ultimately, the vengeance belongs to the Lord, as the scripture says. Our Lord Yahweh has got dibs on Esau, Edom. But continuing on, it says, and Yahweh set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And what was that mark? That was leprosy, right? The stripping of his pigmentation, because all nations had color, all people had color. What they say color really is just melanin. Everybody had color. Everybody was dark skinned at one point, right? So that whole thing with being light skinned or having no melanin is not no evolutionary trait. It's not because they eat certain foods or a certain diet, or because they live in a cold climate. No, or because they're not in the sun. It's got nothing to do with that, right? It's a curse. It's a mutation, genetic mutation that the Most High put upon the seed of Cain and the seed of Edom. Right now, you see, of course, certain Jake that had mingled themselves with these Edomites. Some of them, their children or the great grandchildren, they come out looking pale. But hey, that's just because of the seed. You know what I'm saying? The genetics, they pick up certain traits from the mother, right? But at the end of the day, if the father is an Israelite, the child is an Israelite, right? Now, let's get more evidence on this with Esau. This is Genesis 25. Let me see. And I'll start at verse 23. As a matter of fact, let me just get this point as well. I'll start at 21. Genesis 25 and 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. So she had twins, right? But it says, verse 23, and Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Now, they weren't your regular twins that you see, these were what they call fraternal twins. I believe that's the right term, right? Meaning they were nothing alike, right? So one of them, I was going to go into it. Verse 25, it says, and the first came out red. So this is the firstborn, right? And as we read up top, the elder shall serve the younger, right? But it says, the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. So he came out red, meaning he had no pigmentation, right? And as a matter of fact, Edom means red, right? But let me get this word for Esau, right? Esau, it says hairy. Well, it's not going to go into it. But anyways, it says, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. It says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old, and she bare them, or when she bare them. You see, so it doesn't even mention the color of Jacob. It only mentions Esau. He came out red. Now, what babies come out red? You know, what nation of babies come out looking all red whenever they're born? Edomites, so-called white people. You know. Now, you can even look this up. I believe I seen a video I think like a couple years back, like 3 years back, 4 years back, but pretty much going into how this Jake couple, they were both melanated Jakes, dark skin. I think they had twins as well, and one of them came out normal, right? What you would call normal, dark skin, just like them. But the other one came out looking pale as hell, white, so-called white. All right, we're just showing you that this is possible. Now, two white people, they can't create a melanated child, right? But that just shows you that Esau originated from melanated people, but he was a defect. He was a mutation. He came out without his pigment, right? Because again, like it says in the beginning, in verse 23 it says, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. So this is two different people. This guy is the complete opposite of us. I'm talking about, the so-called white man, these Edomites. They're the complete opposite of us. They lack a lot of what we have. When you see Esau, they got no flavor, they got no salt, they got no skills, right? But Jake is the salt of the earth, man. We got flavor, we got skill, the best singers, the best players, any ball player, right? We're the best at everything. And Esau envies that. That's the reason why during the whole Dark Ages, Esau likes to claim that it was them, that they were ruling the world. They were always in power. But now, when you go back to the truth of the matter, it was Jake. They were all melanated people. That's the reason why they gotta chop off the noses every time you see a statue back from that time period. They always had the noses cut off. The late Caesars of Rome, they were Jakes, melanated men. Again, that's why you see the noses being chopped off, because the features, certain facial features. As a matter of fact, you can even Google how, or just Google Black Caesars, so-called Black Caesars of Rome, and it'll pop up, right? But this is the origin of the so-called white race, of so-called white people. The blue eyes, the yellow hair, it's all originated from this man, Esau, right? But that was pretty much it. There was just a quick lesson to the spirit I wanted to bring out. It was just something funny, because, like I said, I seen the video and I was like, I clicked on it because I thought it would, actually give out some good information, but nah, it was just some more bullshit. So I was like, let me do a video on this shit. And we all know, we all understand, but just for the people that don't know, don't get it, right? I don't really know the true history of things, right? This is the origin of the white man, right? So with that, I'm going to close it out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Until the next time, I'm going to say, Shalom, Kwam Yasha Allah.